What's up, everybody? Welcome to Track 13. This is the Rook and the Kid, episode 13. I'm the Rook, Jared May, and I'm joined by...
Hunter Poole, the Kid.
What's going on? We are in different locations for the first time in podcast history. So I'm over here in North Montgomery.
And I miss you, man. I miss you.
I miss you. Yeah. You want to make out?
We just started. I just said I was missing you. I don't want to get into all that stuff, but yes, we can.
Yeah, so we got a couple of fun things to talk about today. We're actually going to get into some conspiracy theories later on, but we got some holidays we're going to discuss first, which is weird that they have a holiday called Make Up Your Own Holiday Day. We're going to talk about our favorite wide receivers from the 2022 draft class, so the previous class from the previous year. Some Dallas Cowboys news. We're going to have a new track ranking segment. We're going to be talking about our best Saturday meals after Friday Night Lights. For those who played high school sports and were athletes, especially in football, you know what this feels like. You're sore as crap. You're waking up in the morning and you got to have a meal before film, before you get torn up in film. We're also going to be introducing Nightmare Blunt later on. So we got a couple of things to address first. Hunter's sweating a bet, so there's one thing. His third of the same night. So you can say his luck is going pretty good.
Yeah, it's going fantastic. Nothing's going my way right now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Back at it tomorrow.
You just got done catering a wedding, right?
Yeah, it was not too bad. It was a pretty simple wedding. It was half LSU graduates and then like half Texas A&M. They weren't too rowdy like the New Year's Eve wedding. But of course, like most weddings, there's a lot of good-looking women, and the kid being behind the bar, I had to start conversations, the whole time. And
of course, yeah.
Ask them about their perfume and how their day's going and how lovely they look. Just being respectful.
What do you normally say to them? What do you normally say to them when you ask them about their perfume? What kind of perfume are they usually wearing?
Usually, I look them in the eyes and I kind of give them a look. I'm like, man, that smells really good. Like, what kind of perfume you got on?
Here, let me pretend I'm the girl. Let's restart. All right. Let's pretend I'm an 8 out of 10 at a wedding.
Well, you're a 10 out of 10, but anyway, be like, whoa, that smells really good. What kind of perfume you got on?
What?
What kind of perfume you got on?
Oh, Chanel.
Really? It's Chanel? It's not Drop Dead Gorgeous?
Here's my number.
Yeah, and then, obviously they're not wearing Drop Dead Gorgeous because it's not a perfume. But if you ever need a little pickup line, use that one, and it works about 2 out of 10 times. But,
I've witnessed it multiple times. I've actually tried it myself, and it does work. It actually is quite effective.
Yeah, give it a try, and, if you keep doing it, you'll be single like us. So.
Hey, damn, what kind of perfume you got on? Super hot? I was like, oh.
Actually, it's at Gucci. It's like, all right, well, good talk.
All right, well, we got a special guest that is going to be joining us in about 5 seconds whenever I click the start button. But he is known to many as Nightmare Blunt. So, without further ado, welcome to the podcast, Nightmare Blunt.
What's good?
Man, what are you filming on a Pop-Tart or what? What is that?
Go computer.
Don't look like it, but
the audio is dominating the podcast for sure. So, David, Nightmare Blunt, who are you? Where do you come from?
David May, Jared's and the Rook's little brother. Go to Legacy Prep, class of 2023, about to graduate. College.
You got any plans for after high school when you're done with Legacy Prep?
Yeah, as of right now, looking to play football somewhere. Don't know where yet. I got a couple of options, but we'll see.
What position do you want to play?
Slot receiver, but anything really.
Wherever they need you, man. We need more dogs like you out there,
Probably at left tackle, but
right.
you'd be the prettiest looking left tackle I've ever seen in my life. If I saw you playing that.
Really aggressive over there, Hunter.
Hey, I'm just trying to make him feel welcome, you know.
You must be extra lonely in the house right now.
I am very lonely. I've been talking to myself for the last 24 hours, so it's going.
Hey, did you see that? Oh,
I'm like, bro, this dude did not even hit the. Sorry, man. Whatever. But, you know, guys, you get a little lonely, but you know, it makes you find yourself, and it really shows like you find out who your friends are, you know, and just being
are you
alone.
quoting a song?
No. Anyway, my best friend's Ben Affleck.
So the people want to know, who is Nightmare Blunt? Where does the name come from?
The name came from fantasy football. Also, it came from a meme I saw. The Nightmare Blunt rotation, including like George Bush, Bill Clinton, Shrek was in there.
It's a rotation? Like, what do you mean? Like they're passing the blunt to each other?
Passing the blunt to each other. And it's just a bunch of people like you wouldn't want to see intoxicated. So it's like Greta
is in there smoking a blunt with George W. Bush.
Yep. Just a bunch of people you wouldn't think getting together to have a good time. Just very weird people.
Yeah, if I had a Nightmare Blunt rotation, if I smoked any weed, it would probably be like, it'd probably be Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, I guess, and any form of, you can just go 4 random people who are part of the misogynistic hater club of, you see that right there? You see when you do that? Nobody cares. Nobody wants to see that.
Embrace masculinity.
Embrace masculinity. That's what we do on this podcast, you know. If you want to come on the podcast and wear no shirt, show off your muscles, I'm all here for it. I'll be staring at you the whole time.
David, what's your top 3 Nightmare Blunt rotators? Or who?
Gotta give one to Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller.
Why? Stiller. Just because he's an idiot and no one likes him. I don't know. Like what?
Blunt at the museum.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Alex the Blunt. Alex the Lion.
Roar.
Who makes a dancing lion? Exactly. You know, the parents were on
some dude high as shit. That's who.
Number 2, probably just put Biden in there. You know, he already doesn't know where he's at all times. Just imagine him on the ZA.
Imagine that dude on the ZA.
Yeah.
89 years old.
97 years old, out of a tombstone on the blunt.
What's that quote he had? What's that quote he had where he said something about the Revolutionary War and airplanes?
He said Jesus Christ himself said the problem with the Revolutionary War was they didn't have enough airports. I was like, what the hell is he even
Jesus
talking
Christ
about?
He said the problem with the Revolutionary War was there wasn't enough airports.
That sounds like him too.
I was like, what the hell is he even talking about?
Third in the rotation for the Nightmare Blunt.
Third of the rotation. So I said 2 dudes. Gotta add some diversity here.
Right. Yep. Respect. We got Lizzo. You got Doja Cat. You've got.
Let's put Cardi B in there.
Cardi B.
Just throw her in there.
She's probably gonna lace it.
It's lace it. Yeah, no. That's why Joe Biden the way he is, because we're letting Cardi B in here lacing the blunt.
Lacing that ZA. So we got Cardi B, Joe Biden, and who was first?
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller.
Just because I don't like him.
Hunter, who's in your rotation?
I'm gonna go with Lizzo. Respect. Because I'm probably going to be hungry, but if she's in there, there's going to be no food to eat. Number 2, I'm going to have – man, that's tough, man, because I hate a lot of people.
Beyonce, Austin Powers, Shrek.
Mine will probably be Emmanuel Acho, number 2. and probably half of Mike Evans.
Which half? That's the one that matters.
The white part. But that would be my three. I would not want to be in that rotation. Let's hear your rotation.
Yeah, so number one, I'd have to go Alex Jones. Having Alex Jones in the Nightmare Blunt rotation would be pretty extravagant. Theo Vaughn would have to be in there too. You got to have Theo Vaughn, and just for some diversity, I would go the double gub cup, the Indian gas station cashier from the famous video of the double gub cup. If you haven't seen it, he definitely should be on it. Having an Indian guy get zooted off the za would be extravagant. Just to see him, I tell you what, man, this is a great za. I tell you, oh my God, have you tried the za, Alex? What kind of conspiracy theory do you want to talk about next? How about the Tower of Babel? Yeah, so the Indian guy from Double Gup Gup, and that's the dynasty right there.
That's the one.
Still laughing at Ben Stiller. Like, why the hell?
Honorable mention goes to David Goggins.
Oh my God! You couldn't get him on the za even if you tried.
Well, no, just imagine him on it. He's gonna start making you do stuff you don't want to do,
and laughing while he's doing it. We should run 1,000 miles.
Stay hard.
Stay high. All right. So today, apparently it's International Waffles Day, which great. But I thought what was even better today is make up your own holiday day. So we're gonna do that. You're on the podcast. You're gonna make up your own holiday. It could be anything you want. Nightmare Blunt, you want me to give you the first go at it, or?
Yeah, go ahead. I already know mine. No School Monday.
No School Monday.
Respect. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. It's like there's no school the next day. You get to sleep in, enjoy your day off. You have a 3-day weekend. Be nice.
Now, is that for tomorrow, or is that for like after July 4th or something?
Oh no, it's for tomorrow. Just tomorrow. Yeah.
Respect. Hey, the grind don't stop. The grades, they don't matter in college, especially if you're an athlete.
Good advice, man. Good advice.
What's your holiday?
For made-up holidays, if I had to make one up, it'd probably be National Women's Day.
I thought there was already a National Women's Day.
No, but you got to make two.
It's a made-up holiday.
Is this for non-binary women, or?
It's for we'll have a National Women's Day when someone could let us know what is a woman, and when they let us know what is a woman, then we can make the holiday of National Women's Day. So then we're not counting it.
Respect. All right. Thank God for Nationals Women's Day, and I think for mine, I would have to choose National Texans Cheerleader Day for eating corn on the cob. That would have to be mine.
Wait, what was it again?
National Texans Cheerleaders eating corn on the cob day.
Texans
cheerleaders, yes.
That'd be kind of hot. I mean,
that's kind of the premise of it, because the shape of corn on the cob is, and they eat it a certain way that is not common to the normal sexual practice. Outside of that range, you've got that the corn accents the mouth in such a way you can't even digest it. So you got all these cheerleaders basically suffering from corn digestion. So yeah, that had to be my holiday. Anyway.
Shit, man. This podcast is already taking a toll today.
Yeah.
All over the place. I love it.
I will say National Make Up Your Own Holiday Day is probably the worst holiday on planet Earth. Whoever made that, it was probably had like autism or something.
What's wrong with autism?
Nothing. It's just something that they probably had.
Fair enough.
All right, let's go to our track ranking segment. Presented to you by nobody. We're going to pick our best Saturday meals after Friday Night Lights. This is, like I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, you just played, in our case, 100 plus snaps. You're cramping. You had to eat mustard. You just got pounded by a good team like Cal Allen. Just got pounded by Phil Danaher. And pause. And you wake up the next morning, you're sore as crap, sore as shit. You got bruises all over your arms and body and chest. And your mama or somebody or your daddy or your grandma makes you a meal the next morning. What's that go-to meal? That's what I want to know. And the people want to know it too. And they want to hear it mostly from Nightmare Blunt. So we're going to start with Nightmare Blunt here on your number one Saturday meal after Friday Night Lights.
So I didn't get food made by mom this year or any of the years I played because we had team meals in the morning. After
Spoiled
workout.
brat. What a spoiled brat over here.
Hey, get your money up. But
Fair enough.
I usually the number one thing I'd go to is probably a donut or a kolache, because sometimes Miss Mother May would not cook for the team, but when she did, breakfast casserole she would make that for us. Absolutely insane.
Gas.
That sounds very gas.
So as far as the donut goes, is this like a normal glazed donut? We got chocolate,
normal
white
glaze,
ice cream, normal glaze,
basic
no cream
here.
filled.
No, pause. No.
Yeah. Good looks.
Where are the donuts from? Shipley's.
You got to get them from the gas station, like the little gas station stores.
Strip centers.
Strip centers. You don't really get them from like Shipley's unless
Krispy
you're there.
Kolache Factory. No.
You usually get them like we have a Snowflake Donuts right by our house. It's better than any place that you can go to get donuts.
Is that the same lady that would, when I was in high school, she would give you like 1,000 donuts?
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're so poor, they just give you more because they're trying to get rid of it all. So you ask for a donut and a kolache and a chocolate milk, and you get donut holes and a breadstick, like with a chocolate stick.
Yeah.
With your own meal, plus a chocolate milk.
I'd go in there before school when if it's the same lady, I'd go in there and I'd get like 2 donuts and a kolache. And I'd walk out of there with 7 donuts and 8 kolaches with like 12 donut holes. She'd go, thank you for coming here,
Oriri.
Yeah. He's like, konnichiwa. But
sounds good as hell.
No, she was the goat. She's probably the nicest lady. The other nicest lady I think I've ever had in a donut shop was in Iola, right next to the Stanley's Feed store in the middle of butt hell nowhere.
Oh
you walk in there and they're like, what kind of donut you want, honey? And she's probably like, not to fat shame, but she's probably 300 plus pounds. She's been eating some of the donuts back behind the desk. You walk in there, and this one time I walked into that Iola breakfast, and this is like at 6:30 in the morning, and you got these 2 blue-head old-timers sitting in the chair to the left, and they're talking about the election and how it was stolen. They're like, I tell you, every time these Democrats get in office, everything just goes to shit. Oil, gas prices, and I'm not kidding. That's the exact conversation they were having. It was about how Donald Trump should have won. And Biden stole it from us. You see how many of those votes came in through the middle of the night? And, I'm walking in there, and obviously I don't look like I'm from Iola, but I'm like they give me like the nod as soon as I walk in. How you doing? And I'd get my donuts.
Coffee.
Have a good one.
They drink some coffee.
Yeah, I mean they're just old timers having a donut together, just talking about politics. It was pure rural Texas right there. So shout out to the donut shops for sure.
That does sound awesome with the donuts, especially if they're hooking you up. My fat ass can eat like 50 donuts, but gotta watch out because I'll be a fat ass. For my Saturday morning meal would definitely be 2 bacon, egg, and cheese tacos with a lemonade from the taco stand right by my house.
Sounds
And
gas.
for the people who have never had taco stand, I suggest you go to Flower Bluff and go get you some taco stand.
Is that the name of the taco stand?
There's some weird name for it, but everyone just calls it the taco stand. And
So if I were to drive to Corpus Christi and near Flower Bluff and went, hey, I want to get a breakfast taco from the taco stand, they would point me to the right one.
they would point you to the right one. They know exactly what you're talking about.
Would you consider it a tourist attraction?
I don't know. It's a beat up building. Like it's just like one of those things. Like people just know about it because, I mean, it's like right by our school. Like the parking lot where you park your cars at like the high school, it's like right across the street. So I got all these like kids jaywalking and get themselves a taco before school or like before a game, just stuff like that. And it's the way they melt the cheese on there, the bacon's crispy, get a little bit of salsa on it. Then you got this lemonade that has about 200 grams of sugar in it. That always smacks. Yeah.
Was it Minute Maid?
Nah, this thing shits on Minute Maid. It's like,
Bold.
oh no, yeah, it's a real Mexican lemonade. You don't know, Mexicans can make some lemonade, and it is. Y'all gotta try it.
Did y'all have a lot of lemonade stands in Corpus Christi when you were growing up? Did you ever run a lemonade stand yourself?
No, my little sister did. We had a lot of ice cream trucks, and he used to come on my street like 4 times a day. I'm hoping to make money, but he could have been doing other things.
Oh.
But
4 times a day?
He used to come on his street 4 times a day.
I think one time I literally got like ice cream every time he came down the street because I was just like, I got like a snow cone, and then I got like a big old 30-foot long blow pop. Like, I was just getting a bunch of ice cream, and my parents were just like, okay.
A 34-foot blow pop?
I mean, it's big. It was like.
How did you eat it? Can you show us how you ate it?
Yeah, I was like.
David, when you were little, you ran a lemonade stand, right?
I did. It was with my neighborhood friend, and actually, our neighbor at the time, there was me and this other kid, and we had another neighbor who didn't want to do it, but he would come by and talk to us. He sat on the lemonade stand. He actually broke it. He broke the leg of the chair of the stand we had it on, and all the lemonade fell down, and everything else fell down. So we didn't have. I actually have fought him multiple times, counting from like when I was in 3rd grade up to like 6th grade. We used to fight each other a lot.
Is this Walker?
No, it's Camden.
Oh,
we used to get in fights all the time and be friends the next day. So
was there an original name for the lemonade stand, or was it just lemonade stand?
Just the lemonade stand. We'd also make up sob stories on it, like to get more money. Like, our dog Roscoe got his leg ran over, and we're trying to raise money.
Yeah, well, y'all could have adapted when you broke the chair. Let's say the table was kind of slanted. You could have called it just Twisted Lemonade. That's a marketing tool right there.
Twisted.
I don't think there's that many clever 3rd graders to think
now,
about that.
We call it Twisted Lemonade because our dog Roscoe, his legs twisted just a little from getting ran over by the Range Rover from across the street in Mercedes.
They're like, oh, did you just lose your teeth, little kids? Like, no, actually, my dad punched it out of my mouth because it was hanging. So, I'm trying to raise money to go to the dentist. Like, Oh my God, that sucks. Have a good day.
Are we putting strawberry lemonade in the lemonade stand, or are we just going
We
standard
did.
lemonade?
We
Oh
did.
hell
Uh,
no.
we
Shit'll get
actually
you
used
zooted.
the Snapple that we had. It was,
I totally forgot about them things. That was
I would get them out and I would
loaded.
sell them for like $6, and
Profit.
yeah, and then KD Fargo at the time when Dayton Ryan bought some, and then her little sister bought some, so we made $12 that day. It was the only money we made.
You remember what
So-
you spent the $12 on?
Probably something at CVS right across the road.
A
Go
Twix
get
bar.
like candies, yeah, Twix bar and a Arizona tea.
Vape mint pods.
It went down. And got some Zen pouches.
Yeah.
Give me that. Can I get some wintergreen Copenhagen, please? It's yeah, I like that Copenhagen wintergreen.
Can I get Copenhagen Wintergreen long cut pouches, please? Can I get a log of them? How much you got? $12.
Sir, it's a $24 for a 4-pack. I don't give a shit. Give me it right now. I just need some dip. I haven't had dip in about 45 minutes. I need another one. I just ran out of my long cut.
How old are you, kid? 12.
11.
11.
All right, you didn't get this from me. You have a nice day, son. Thank you, sir.
On the house.
On the house.
Enjoy the Buzz Lightyear. To infinity and beyond.
Yeah, I tell you what, I started dipping at about 9 years old, man. I remember sitting in my treehouse buzzing like a bee because that long
I was
cut-
buzzing like an Indian on sage, brother. Holy hell.
I was buzzing. I'll tell you what.
The train has left the station.
The train has left the station.
All right, let's get into some Dallas Cowboys talk. So Cowboys have actually been pretty active in free agency this offseason. So, they traded for Stephon Gilmore for a 5th-round pick, Brandon Cooks as well for a 5th and a 6th-round pick. They released Ezekiel Elliott. They didn't re-sign Dalton Schultz. They offered him a deal. The departure of Kellen Moore. We re-signed LVE. Just a bunch of different moves. Yeah. So, Nightmare Blunt, your favorite move in free agency so far for the Dallas Cowboys?
Stephon Gilmore, a cornerback who can actually tackle. I don't see like Trayvon Diggs. He's a great. He developed a lot this year, and coverage, man coverage, and all that. But his tackling it's as good as I was in 3rd grade. He blew the game. I think he blew the game against the 49ers. All he had to do was give Kittle a hug, and he wouldn't have caught that ball. And he plays patty cake. He messes with his hands when he's trying to tackle. But Stephon Gilmore, definitely a great pickup because he tackles, and he's actually really good.
That was my main frustration with Trayvon Diggs. That dude doesn't want to tackle nobody. He's usually in retreat mode. But yeah, so Stephon Gilmore for a 5th. Did you like the Brandon Cooks deal?
Yes and no, just because, all of them chase money, but I feel like he's the biggest money chaser. I want to see how he plays out. I'm kind of iffy on him just because, I don't really have – he's a Texan, and I have the worst hopes on Texans, which is I don't think they're good. I don't think, any of the players they've had are good. But other than that, I feel like he could be a spark because it's some speed. We get some speed to match with CD as well.
Yeah, and he's a deep threat kind of guy.
Yeah.
Too. So I think my concern with him wasn't that he came from the Texans. It's more that he's like 29, 30 years old.
Yeah, that's the other problem is he's a little bit on the older side.
Yeah.
He's kind of losing his prime.
Yeah.
He's about to enter that stage.
I'm guessing you would have rather had D-Hop?
No, he's more injury prone. I probably would have. I knew it wasn't going to happen, but Stephon Diggs, everyone wants to have. I think that would have been amazing if we got him.
I think it'd been cool to just like they talked about would Dallas give up a first round pick for a wide receiver, and I was like, if you're gonna give a first, it's probably gonna be Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
That would have been cool because we talked about in previous podcasts how we would actually like for Dallas to trade out of the first round because we're not a needy team. We don't really need a lot in the first round, and where the value is going to be sitting, there really isn't a lot there for what we could get a higher value in the second round, but we'll see. But yeah, I mean, Hunter, what do you think? What's your favorite move in free agency so far from the Cowboys?
I did like both of the Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks trade, but from like an in-team situation, I really enjoy the LVE pickup or re-sign. We saw the difference in the defense. Over the last few years, LVE's been getting a lot of criticism, which is fair on what was happening. I've seen a lot different player ever since Jalen Smith left the team. And so when LVE, when he's in there, like the defense is a lot better, and we don't have to worry about like someone like Jalen Smith. I know he's been there for a while, but you could just tell that when LVE was playing with them, it was just like what are you doing, Jalen Smith? Like he's leaving everybody hang. I always say like remember the Titans when Gary's getting mad at Julius for leaving him hanging, and it's like one of those things. And also, I really enjoyed the Cooper Rush signing, just in case something needs to happen.
Something might need to happen. You're right.
Just in case.
Yeah, LVE. I actually agree with that too. I mean, we stole him for like $5.5 million a year. And he actually had a very good year. And I loved your points. And we talked off record about it too, about the Jalen Smith and how he basically hurt LVE. Mine was probably going to be Kellen Moore. I mean, I did enjoy the Stephon Gilmore one probably the most. But if I had to do a different one than what Nightmare Blunt did, I would say the departure of Kellen Moore. I've done a lot of research into the problems of what was going on there in philosophy. So I think it's a good thing that he's gone, and I think it's a really good thing that he's with the Chargers. I think he's going to do well there. He's not a bad coordinator, but he's a guy that would fit Justin Herbert's
play style.
Play style for sure. I was actually kind of shocked that Dalton Schultz didn't follow him to the Chargers because they needed one, and he ended up going to the Texans, which the Texans are kind of loading up a little bit. I mean, they've repatched quite a few holes already, especially in the secondary and at tight end. Hopefully John Mechie plays this year, but it should be an interesting draft. They got the number 2 overall pick and the 12th overall pick, so they could double down.
Yeah, they'll probably go quarterback, and then I don't think that JSN will get past the what's it called? Bears, but definitely if he does, then the Texans will definitely draft him.
You want to hear an asshole thing that happened to me, bro? PFF has now become a subscription, so you have to pay like $7 a month just to make free mock drafts. So I can't make mock drafts with PFF anymore. So I've had to go on different boards that are free, and I did 2 of them today. And I did a first full round draft where I drafted everybody's picks for the first round. And I took Jackson Smith-Njigba at number 9 for the Bears. And then I did a projection where I just did the Cowboys 7-round deal, and at the 9th pick was Jackson Smith-Njigba. So I was like, I'm on to something here.
It was at the. You said it was at the 27th pick.
No, he was at the 9th. He was at the Bears both times. When there was simulated, when it was simulated, they picked him at the Bears pick. And when I did it myself, just drafting manually the first round, I picked him at the Bears as well. I was like, huh.
Yeah, if there's 2 picks that I think will not get past teams, it would definitely be Bijan at 10.
Yes.
And also, what's his name? JSN past the Texans. Those two are just seem like for sure locks if they're there. And I mean, I don't blame the Eagles if they do it. I mean, we'll see where Zeke goes, but definitely doesn't look like the Eagles.
Yeah, it sucks, David. I don't know if you saw that, but Zeke's had a wish list of teams. Did you see that? He wanted the Eagles, Bengals, and one other team, Jets.
Bengals.
Yeah, well, this was
He even
a
touched the
report.
field on the Bengals.
This is a report that came out that said his targets are the Eagles, Jets, and Bengals. And then all three organizations said, we have not contacted Zeke. And so it was just like bad looks for Zeke.
But I think like Zeke exited his prime right after that allegation, and that was like his third year. So
yeah,
I mean, it was like, oh my God, we have the next Emmitt Smith. Look at this franchise running back, and then he's gone. He's just no.
yeah.
Like that girl that he slept with took all of his power away from his balls. But
no, I mean that's what I've said before is like he started his rapid decline in 2019, 2020, which is the 3-year mark you're talking about. So
yeah.
I mean, rapid decline. It's like the context behind it. They weren't. It's more of like Zeke was getting what 15 carries a game, and most of them were like, up the gut, trying to like control the kind of game type deal. Just the straight up, up the middle, and then which really don't blame them because when you're paying a quarterback that money, and people are questioning it, they're going to pass the ball more. They changed the whole offense when they paid Dak. And you have to credit someone like Zeke who allowed Dak in his first few years to kind of develop into the player he is now. Because there was times before where Dak could not win without Zeke or even someone like Tyron Smith. It was because the offense was going through Zeke, but now, obviously he doesn't need Tyron Smith, and he obviously doesn't need Zeke, but
he just needs playmakers, and I feel like that's the other pro that goes with Brandon Cooks and losing Zeke, and it's like for franchise tag Tony Pollard. That's probably my second favorite thing the Cowboys did this offseason, which is we franchise tagged the dude who's been doing everything. He was our best playmaker this year, without a doubt, in my opinion. As a running back, being able to get involved in the passing game like he did, and kind of just take off in the running game, he showed what he could do, and I'm kind of glad that Jerry Jones had a brain this offseason. We actually made some very good moves.
Yeah. The only difference is we're gonna have to see if Tony Pollard's never been a 3-down back for a full season, and that's the only knock I necessarily have on him. But if we can be a running back by committee, Davis he's a solid backup, and then if they end up drafting a guy, third, fourth round.
Well, let me ask you this: who are the 3-down backs in the league currently? If you had to pick, it would be Saquon. I wouldn't even know if you would put. Yeah, I mean, is he though? Because
a 3-down back.
Is he? Does he catch passes?
He's there on third downs. Yeah, he's a 3-down
It depends,
back.
Right? If it's 3rd and 8, he's coming out.
I'm not talking about like a 3-down back as in
My point is, I'm just saying those 3-down backs, they're not very existent anymore. Zeke was the last of that age, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with that. I've always said Zeke is a fullback. Not a fullback, but like he is a full, complete running back. He could pass block, he could pass catch, he could run, he could hurdle, he had speed, he had power, complete back. And there are some left over in the league, but
I feel like the last of that sort of fits that description is Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the receiving skills, but I feel like just if you think of running back, like that's the first person who comes to mind is Derrick Henry.
But all those teams, they have like Henry has Haskins as his or backup, and some other guy. Those Nichols or McNichols, I think is his name.
Yeah.
That's the passing down back, and then the Browns have Kareem Hunt, and then Barkley. That's a pure third down back, but his pass pro is not very good. So the teams that are winning, and all those guys I mentioned, they've never been to an NFC Championship game. Maybe the Browns. I might be mistaken, but I don't think so.
No,
But all those teams that have your 3-down back aren't making it to the Super Bowl. It's those cheap running back committees that are getting there.
Yeah.
So I don't want Pollard to be a 3-down back complete. I want him to be your first and second round, gash him, and then
Well, what would you
first down.
consider? Well, what do you think? Someone. All right. So, what about his backups right now? And if they don't even draft, would you use
like Malik Davis?
Is he a third down back?
I would say he's more of those guys that would give Pollard a break, because Pollard is capable of pass catching. He's capable of doing a well enough job in the passing game.
So on what I'm saying is on like 3rd down and 8, looking at the running backs we have now, and
I'm gonna have Pollard in there. Yeah, but what I'm saying is Malik Davis is going to be that gasher in the middle. That's probably going to be a first and a second down back, or he's going to get a series, but then on 3rd down, maybe Pollard will come in. He's going to be one of those guys, but it's going to be a committee, and if they draft a guy, let's say Jahmyr Gibbs, let's say Devon Achane, let's say any of those names, it's going to be, all right, here we go. Pollard, you get this drive. As soon as you're tired, we're putting in a fresh back with fresh legs. That's just as fast and just as explosive, and we're putting him in there to gash him. Like, that's what works. And then you don't pay those guys. You let somebody else pay them. But
another thing you got to think about
that's the point I was trying to make.
Well, it's like on just being like a 3rd down back, like it's not just about what you can do in the passing game, like catching wise. Like you have to be able to like block as well, and especially if the line is getting beat a lot, and then maybe the blitz is strong. Like you need a running back who can block, just like be able to block and all that. So like the 3rd down back is not necessarily just there to catch.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm just saying there's not many running backs. You could count on your fingers how many there are that do all of that are 3-down backs. It's not very existent anymore. Everybody's doing the committee backfield deal. And the reason they're doing that, I think, is because they want to save their legs. Because Exhibit A, Zeke, we used to run him into the dirt. So, and I think that was part of his downfall. But, just like you said, when they paid Dak and the offense changed, when they paid Zeke, they still ran him in the dirt. So, they complimented who they paid. I think that's a good point.
Yeah, and also just one of those things where it's like, if people are upset about Kellen Moore with Dak and his play calling, shouldn't you also be upset about Kellen Moore and how he used Zeke?
Yeah, that's part of the problem. Exactly. Yes. But also Zeke would also tear his PCL 2 years and still play. And that sometimes you just got to be like, I'm hurt. But, seeing him with that brace and running 2 miles an hour on the field didn't help anybody. But he scored a lot of touchdowns on the goal line for us. But I'm just saying, like,
John Thief.
Yeah. Like, what's Kellen Moore going to do if he's in there? And I don't like Kellen Moore's running tactics at all. I'm just saying, when you got a running back in there who you paid and who the ownership basically sucks his D on it, and they've always loved Zeke and they've always thought he's Emmitt Smith 2.0, and you're making this guy play with a knee brace on, and you're running him up the middle and nothing's happening. You're just wasting a play. And I don't think that's some of Kellen Moore, but I think that's also inside the house. So there's negatives and positives. It's all a mixture and it's complex, but I understand your point. But yeah, so all right, so let's move into our top 3 wide receivers from the 2022 rookie class. A couple names in here like Drake London. We got Christian Watson, and I'll share the screen here so everybody can kind of see what I'm talking about. We'll name our top 3 that we're most excited for in the upcoming season. We got Chris Olave to start out. Drake London, like I said earlier, Treylon Burks, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jahan, Christian Watson, Did they send him again? No? Okay.
Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah, Sky Moore. Jameson Williams, that's an exciting one. George Pickens, a lot of people forget about him. Yeah, so out of those names, Nightmare Blunt, we'll start with you. Who are you most excited for in the upcoming season from that class? Like Derek Carr went to the Saints. You got Chris Olave. Jordan Love's going to be throwing the ball to Christian Watson most likely. A-Rod's going to be throwing to Garrett Wilson.
I feel like that someone we all forgot about was Jordan Love because he was coming in and everyone forgot about him because he spent 3 years on the bench. And I feel like I don't even know what to feel about him because I forgot how he played in college.
I think Utah.
yeah. I think most excited for is gonna say Wilson because if this the Aaron Rodgers, if this thing happens, which I'm pretty sure it did, I haven't really been keeping up with that, but I feel like Wilson, I feel like he's be getting his bag this off season. I feel like he's gonna show out, but I feel like Christian Watson might have been a fluke. I feel like that might have been a streak of luck.
Think so?
I think so. I mean, touchdowns are touchdowns, but 7 of them in the last 10 games. No, last 6-8 games.
A big knock on him coming out of college was he needed to develop. He was like a product.
Yeah.
If he starts to get kind of the game going with him, he's going to be really good. And, it kind of showed, the first play of his NFL career, he completely burns the guy, and then drops the ball. And, sometimes, it took him a while to develop, and then, playing with someone like A-Rod, even though A-Rod's so great, he's probably not the easiest person to play with at the same time because, which I think what helped him was that team really did not have a number one wide receiver. They were all young, and then they had, Randall Cobb. So A-Rod kind of had to be like, okay, let me work with these guys. I really need to work with them. And then once Christian Watson, started to get his feet wet, that's kind of like his potential because he has such breakaway speed. He's a big wide receiver. But yeah, we'll see. Jordan Love, he came in and threw Christian Watson like a 50-yard touchdown slant. He took it to the house. So we'll see. But yeah, the Christian Watson one could.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a fluke in general. I think David's onto something though. Where I think he's going to have a lot lower performance year, fantasy wise and performance wise, because there's a change of quarterback. This is a guess. There's a change of quarterback. His production is probably not going to be near as what it was with Aaron Rodgers. But then the following year, his third year, he's going to have that sophomore slump. But that following year, I think he'll explode again. I think he has the talent to do so. I think this is going to be more of a growth year for the Packers more than anything. But yeah, I agree. 7 touchdowns in 10 games, I think is what it was, and he was the fantasy winner for the most part, the league winner.
He has a very high upside, just body-wise, speed. He just needs to, work on his mechanics, and that's what they kind of knew. That's why he fell to the second round.
Yeah.
Because he has everything you want, size and speed. When you're 6'4" and you can run like a 4.3. I know speed's not everything, but
that's a monster. That's monster. What do you call it? Variables? I guess is one.
Yeah, he's a freak of nature.
Yeah.
One wide receiver I'm intrigued to see next year is Treylon Burks. I think he's he's also one of those guys who started to get his feet a little wet, but at the moment we're seeing that Ryan Tannehill does have some, he's a little handicapped. And, he's running around with Ryan Tannehill and also what's his name, Dobbs.
Yeah.
Poor Malik Willis.
Oh, and Malik Willis. Malik Willis
He's
was
got the cannon of the gods.
he was kind of going through like a CeeDee Lamb rookie year where he had Dak for 4 games, and then he had Andy Dalton and all those guys like that. Who came in? Garrett Gilbert. Didn't he almost win the Cowboys a game?
Yeah.
Like that's CeeDee Lamb's rookie year.
Ben DiNucci.
CeeDee Lamb had like 4 or 5 quarterbacks his rookie year, and then that's the same
I'm
thing.
pretty sure he's front runner for MVP in the XFL.
Oh, on the Sea Dragons?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben DiNucci.
DiNucci?
Yeah.
That's because he runs that brand, dog.
Yeah, his NFL career wasn't the hottest, but his hats are pretty cool. So.
Yeah, it's funny. The analyst has a vendetta against him because he came from, I think, James Madison, and it was a huge rivalry for Sam Houston. And I think DiNucci had a lot of shit to say about Sam Houston. So they don't like him very much over there as the Bearcats. But I think the year after they played, and I think they lost to James Madison. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. I think the following year, though, Eric Schmidt had won the whole thing. So. Yeah, so I think mine would be probably I'm gonna go with Jameson Williams. There was a lot of upside from him. His rookie year, obviously he was hurt, and when he came back, I think his first catch was a touchdown. Yeah. So I mean, that guy was the highlight of the Alabama wide receiver core. And now you're getting a quarterback like Jared Goff and possibly a young quarterback in the first round, and we'll see what they do. But, Jared Goff's been playing excellent since he got to the Detroit Lions, and a lot of people would roll their eyes at that. But I think with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams right there, as well as Brock Wright at tight end, we'll see what happens. But I think that Jameson Williams could have a 1,000-yard season with the Lions, especially if somebody like Amon-Ra St. Brown struggles with injuries like he did last year. So, I mean, Jameson Williams is a good one. Another one I would pick would be Chris Olave because he just got an upgrade with Derek Carr at quarterback. So I'm sure that'll be a good connection as well.
Yeah, Chris Olave was really, really good last year. He actually surprised me. I didn't watch him too much at college, but yeah, and then hopefully JSN because they've said a lot of good things about him.
Yeah, his stock has risen.
He's a silky route runner. If you watch him make his cuts, they're all fluent. They aren't staggered. You expect that from an NFL wide receiver, but his is just different. Especially someone who plays receiver. I try to look for people I can watch and study, and he's one I do. He's definitely one. If you just watch how he moves, especially from the slot, what he looks at is the linebacker, because that's usually who's over him, is a linebacker. And he's looking to one way he can put a mismatch. Because if he runs a 4.5, which really isn't that fast for a receiver now, it's still fast.
Yeah.
It's just not, the 4.4, 4.3, I think that's when you start talking fast.
Yeah, that's
4.5 is moderate in the NFL. But if you see him run his routes, he's just more of a agile guy. He's here, and then now he's over there. He's just shifty.
Yeah.
That's one guy I'm excited about.
I was going to ask you if you watched anybody's game to see, to kind of learn from when you're working on your craft for slot receiver. But yeah, you answered it for me. JSN, he's good too because, like you said, he's in the slot and so are you. But what I've noticed, he gets a really good low center of gravity. His
feet are always in the same place when he cuts. It's always chopping here. It's never he steps out there or anything. He's very poised. He's disciplined. He's very disciplined and poised.
Very good at getting to his spots. It's kind of how when they talk about someone I know this is a different sport, but Kyrie, because they say, they're always they say you have the best handles, one of the best handles ever. He was like, what is your thing? He said, when my body movement is how my handles work. Like I get from one spot to the second spot, with my handle, and it's kind of like when you're running routes, like you got some guys who are just like breaking down, doing like 55 moves before they even get to the spot, and it's like just kind of get to the spot. That's a good quality to have as like a wide receiver. Just get to the spot.
Get to the spot.
You don't have to do the salsa dance just to get open. Like,
yeah, if you want to watch somebody who can get open in the NFL now, one for footwork, Stephon Diggs. He brings basketball into football, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. He's the one that does all the between the legs, behind the back.
Yeah, no, he will reenact basketball moves. I feel like he just sits in his garage and dribbles a basketball and then just learns them on the field. Because that's him and Devontae Adams kind of started this footwork movement that's going on now, which is, to really start off, it's like Ocho Cinco, who really started off. But if you look at, you just watch.
Kind of how they start off with the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, what they look at one thing, and they look at leverage. That's what every receiver should be looking at. But he lines up. The first thing he does is my favorite to watch go off the line is George Pickens. Just because he can't move. He can't move, so he's just gonna use his length and shove the dude over.
Yeah.
But they always lean. It's like they're striking down like an axe or something. But with like Stephon, it's like like a tween cross, and he's out that way.
Cross tween.
I like how Cooper Kupp runs his routes. He's very like.
He's a hard gritty. He's got grit.
Yeah.
I like how he'll like
sneaky athletic.
He's like one of those things.
Sneaky athletic.
He'll like fake. He'll like throw his arm to the right side to make things going right, but really his body's already going left. And it's just that quick, sudden movement of he's like, oh, here's one thing's going right, but I'm going left really, and that's how he's always just open. And then that's why people are like, he just gets force fed. It's like, well, he's always open. What do you want him to do? Like,
he gets force fed.
Yeah, he's just open. Like, someone's open, they're gonna get the ball most of the time. Like,
I've never understood the hate for being force fed. I mean, if you're the best player on your team and you're open and you get 10 catches out of 15 targets, all the power to you. You got open 10 times and you got thrown at 15 because you're the number one on that team. Now, the only reason, although people get mad about being force fed is if they drafted the wide receiver 2 on fantasy. So that's the only time, and people hold mean grudges for that sort of deal. But
it's like the force fed thing. Like, if there's somebody who's getting force fed, like actually force fed, it's like Devontae Adams with A-Rod. But that was because, like, he wouldn't even be open. A-Rod would throw him open. Like, he'd throw the guy would be like
the fade route.
Yeah, or he'd like he'd be running his route, and the dude's like right on him, and then A-Rod would throw like some like back shoulder kind of throw, and then he'd like make a contested catch. Like, that's being force fed, but like you're just open, it's not being force fed. You're just making the right play. Like, don't overthink it. Don't be the smartest guy in the room.
You're getting the ball to the playmakers.
That's right. Yeah. Shout out to the best route runner in the league, Deebo Samuel. David, what are your opinions on Deebo Samuel? I'm actually curious. I don't know if I've ever asked you.
He's over. I mean, as a receiver, he got exposed this year. He got exposed as a receiver this year. As a running back, he got exposed because then they brought in a real running back. They brought in not a real running back, but a really good running back with Christian McCaffrey. And so they're like, all right, you have to go play receiver now. And he's 3 catches, 38 yards every game. And then you have one game where it's like 6 for 80 and a touchdown. And then that's when you see Brandon Ayuk coming to the scene, took a spot. But if it was high school football and he was like that, then yeah, he's probably the greatest player of all time because he can run the ball and he can catch and play at receiver. But
yeah, I never even talked to you about Deebo off the record, so I think that's I've had massive arguments about
Yeah.
Debo with 49ers fans about how they say he's a top 5 receiver in the league. And I'm like, he's not even a receiver, in my
Hey,
opinion.
he
But
plays the H back.
yes, I mean, this is wild. And it started off as a joke. And Hunter probably knows what I'm talking about. But it started off as a joke just to troll people. But the more I look at it, and if his seasons continue to look this way, it's a troll, but like I 25% believe it. I said that if Taysom Hill got the same snap percentage and opportunities as Debo Samuel, they would have similar numbers. And they lost their shit. I mean, they were like, how can you say that? I'm like, look at it. I mean, Taysom Hill is a physical runner. He runs a 4.4. Like he's very fast. He's physical. He can throw. He's a Swiss Army knife. If he only gets like 25, 30, maybe 40 snap percentage. Debo gets like 95. If you give Taysom 95% snap opportunities, and you're throwing him screens and swing routes and
handing him the ball off.
handing him the ball from jet sweeps and direct
If
snaps.
he got 14 touches a game, he'd probably have more.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't see what Debo is doing. I get it. He's a versatile runner. He's fast and he's a bully and he's strong, but route running, hands. I did a compilation where he didn't catch like any footballs past 15 yards. He had the 1 year where he just went off, 1,300 yards, whatever. And then the first year and the third year have been nothing, like nothing special. And like you said, and which is a great point, Ayuk took his spot.
Yeah.
He's a better route runner. He has better hands. He has better length. And so, I mean, yeah, I agree. I was really curious what you would think about that because I know we've never even talked about Debo, but
Yeah, it's just like the way the Niners run their system is like they'll run like 2 drag routes. They'll run like a shorter drag route, and then there'll be a deeper drag route. But in reality, the short one is the route, and the second one downfield is going to be a blocker eventually. So they do the drags together. The underneath guy catches it, and oh look, here's George Kittle, 15 yards down the field already blocking because and then it's like not taking away what Debo can do with the ball in his hands, but it's like when you're saying someone like CeeDee Lamb is not a better wide receiver than Debo, come on.
yeah.
But
they're not listening to the question. The question
Yeah.
is who's the better wide receiver, not athlete. And that's still arguable, but wide receiver, what does the wide receiver call to be do? He moves from slot to X to Z. He's running routes at more than 10 yards. He's getting open. He's catching the ball. He's mossing people. He's, after the catch. He's doing all those things. And
my favorite thing to ask people is, okay, you think Debo's, the better wide receiver ever? It's like, okay, you're going to give Debo Samuel a contract, but in the contract it says you cannot use him as a running back. He's going to be a strictly wide receiver. How much would you pay Debo Samuel to be a wide receiver on your team, and you cannot use him to run?
1.3 mil contract for 4 years
man.
and probably 500,000 signing bonus.
You can, you can use him in jet sweeps, but actually just playing running back, it's what.
Well, going back on him as a receiver when he was in college, he got exposed bad. When he played Georgia, he played DeAndre Baker, and they were like, "How do you feel about going up against star corner DeAndre Baker next week?" And he said, "Who?" Because I ain't really watched much film on him. I don't really care. And he was held to 2 catches that game and 20 yards and 8 targets and all that. So he got shut down. I was like, all right, that's playing real competition. How do you feel?
I ain't watched film on him.
I ain't watched film. I don't care.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Cowboys Nation coming out of that draft, they really wanted Debo Samuel.
Did we?
In the second round. And they ended up drafting Tristan Hill.
The Gator roller. Yeah.
They wanted Dallas to trade up for him, trade up a few spots to get Debo, and they did it, and then they ended up drafting Tristan Hill, and y'all know how that worked out. But yeah, just like man, Debo's such a hard person to like categorize. Like it's like I don't even know if he's actually a wide receiver, and also the system he's playing in
Benefits that.
It's oh man, I hate arguing about Debo Samuel. It just grinds my gears.
Well, it's because the people who are pro Debo Samuel are listening to the words that are coming out of our mouths, and they're thinking it's all hate. Now, as an athlete, I think Debo is a very good athlete. I think he can run the ball pretty well. I think he's really good at running after the catch. Like I said before, he's physical. He can break tackles. He's great down like when he gets the ball in his hands. Like that's really all you can ask for. But if you're asking him to do the job of a wide receiver or the job of a running back, I don't think he's top 5 in either one. So
I think your top 5 receivers after this year are, you put number 1. I think you put Tyreek Hill because he destroyed everyone without Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 for me, Stephon Diggs. Number 3, Amari Cooper. I'm kidding. Number 3, if we're just talking about pass catchers and just people who were receiving, I probably put George Kittle, just because he's him in my opinion.
You take George Kittle over Kelsey?
Oh no, wait, I forgot about Kelsey. So now Kelsey. I put Kelsey at 3. My fault. Kelsey at 3, and then at 4, I feel like, again, if we're picking after this year, I feel like 4 you go with Jettis, or you switch those 2 around. You put Jettis 3, Kelsey 4, and then 5. This is
like Tay.
I mean, you got Tay, Jamar.
Yeah, probably Jamar Chase. I mean, there's so many good receivers now in the league because it's just a pass-heavy league. So it's like, there's so many to pick from. But that's like the 5 I would like one on my team. It'd be like, all right, these are the dudes that are going out here and who are going to catch the ball 3 times each and have 100 yards or something like that. Or have 80, 60 yards. Something big.
Yeah. So you said Tyreek 1, and you had who was that 2? You had Stephon Diggs, Kelsey,
3 Jettas, 4 Kelsey,
3 Jetta, 4 Kelsey, and 5 Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had to make a list, it'd be number 1, I put Jetta. Number 2, I would put Tyreek Hill. Number 3, I go Tay. 4, I would go Jamar Chase. And number 5, it kind of gets like a little iffy, but it'd probably be like Diggs. Probably Diggs number 5. But 6 through 10 is all about kind of like the preference. Like a lot of people are probably gonna go like AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which I like CeeDee Lamb in like the 7 to 10 range kind of deal.
Yeah, I think that's fair for him.
Which honestly, he gets a lot of hate just because he's on the Cowboys, but a lot of people don't realize how good he actually is.
Huh. Yeah. So tough for me. I think I would have to put. I think I would agree with Hunter with number 1. I think I would put Jetta at number 1. Number 2, I would have to. I want Jamar Chase at number 2. I have 3 Tyreek Hill. I'm not as big on Tay as everybody else is, so I put Stephon Diggs at 4, and I'll put Tay at 5. I think at 6 is like Cooper Kupp. I think he's right there with him. I'm a big fan of Cooper Kupp, and as far as like route running and the consistency to stay healthy. Like he's been healthy until this year, but he's been a complete productivity. I mean, people forget he was like number 1 in fantasy this year included until he got hurt. So, I mean, yeah, I think he gets a little overlooked sometimes, and a lot of people disregard people after they get injured. They're like, oh, he doesn't count anymore. But you got to remember his productivity. But
when they were putting Debo in like the top 5 wide receivers, I was like, are you serious?
yeah,
Like, come on.
Yeah, he's in the Swiss Army knife category where he's right in front of Taysom Hill. All right. Well, let's get into some. Let's get into some conspiracy theories. Okay, so
That's what I know.
we're gonna start out with the Denver airport conspiracy theory. So this one is essentially about the signs and outlays and sculptures and alleys and all that kind of stuff that are basically outlining the Denver airport. So I think, and I've seen videos all over the place about this, especially on TikTok. But I mean, they've got a plethora of things. I think the first one is they call it Blucifer.
Lucifer, the blue horse.
Yeah, the blue horse with the red eyes. And so I think that statue killed the guy that created it. So they think it's like cursed or something. And then let me find. We'll start with this, and then we'll kind of move forward. Right. The outlay of the actual airport. Okay, so okay, this is the outlay of the Denver airport.
They don't hide it.
They don't hide it. If you look closely, and you have
Nazi sign.
it's the
Swastika.
swastika. Yeah. So I want to find a video where they talk about it. And I wasn't able to find. A lot of them were kind of cheesy, but I have to be on like my For You page or whatever on TikTok, and I'd probably run into it. But they believe that the horse has something to do with satanic worship practices. They talk about the artwork as well. Let's see. Yeah, David, do you know anything about the artwork? I don't know.
Yeah, so going off of that, the airport layout, if you look at the paintings, there's a painting of a Nazi soldier holding a AR-15 and a sword, stabbing a pigeon, and he has a rainbow over his head and like kind of like looks like an apocalypse like town below him, and people just suffering coming to the end of him. But they describe the picture as peace. They
This
say,
one?
yes, that's the one I'm talking about. They describe that picture. They describe most of the pictures that it depicts humanity coming together to rehabilitate, celebrate nature. But that looks like the apocalypse. Looks like New World Order is what they're calling it. Is what it is called. It's about it's basically them showing kind of like what they would like what they're explaining it as, like people who are conspiracy theorists are saying like it goes off of Freemasonry, which is a religion or cult that's a lot of high-powered
Individuals,
celebrities.
right?
Yeah, it's a bunch of high-powered individuals that run the program, and they have a secret meeting place and caves and stuff just all over the world. And
One of the oldest fraternal organizations that they trace their origins to like the guilds of the stonemasons, I think is what it was.
yeah,
Let's see.
and going off of it, they like there's conspiracy theories that they have controlled elections. They have controlled they're involved with the Illuminati, which is a whole nother ordeal. I mean, this whole sign of the Freemasonry is everywhere. It goes with everything. So it's definitely some type of skeptical signal.
Yeah, and so there is also the argument about like the firmament that is displayed. I don't know if you've heard of the firmament, but it's displayed in the middle of the airport. So it's an outlay of planet Earth, and on the outside of Earth's outlay is like a sand wall, or almost like an Arctic wall. And I saw like a video of it, and basically it's saying that the Earth is surrounded by a dome. And that one was a little far fetched, but I was watching. I was like, well, it's when they make stuff like that, it's symbolism for something that represents reality. So they also been talks of like they've heard screams and stuff from the alleyways and the tunnels, right?
Yeah,
And
and
they think there
the
might be a human
elevator.
trafficking ring. Yeah, the elevator.
Yeah, the elevator is missing a 13th. It skips the 13th floor, and there's a key slot that you in the elevator. Let me look it up real quick
Yeah.
so I can
So
describe it.
Sketchy.
yeah. So I mean, the talks of the Illuminati and the Freemasons. I mean, there's some people that were in the Freemasonry ordeal. Was Franklin D. Roosevelt, Gerald Ford, Winston Churchill, Davy Crockett, Buzz Aldrin, Henry Ford. Those are top dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
going off the elevator, it's 1 through 30, and then it displays number 13. Discludes number 13, and they say there's a little key card slot that you swipe, and it gets you to the 13th floor, and they say that's where all of them meet. That's where all the Freemasonry people meet. That's where the most high-powered people meet. And it's not just the 13th floor. There's also a whole underground layer. It's not the parking garage, but it's under it, and it's like 51,000 square feet or something like that of like things they have under there, and they've seen construction coming in and out of there all the time. They're saying that like it's a whole undercover base, like it's an undercover base under there and whatnot. But the last thing I'll say about it is the gargoyle statue they have.
yeah, that's the one.
Right. Yeah. Their eyes. They say that the eyes follow you, and one conspiracy theory like people think is that it's voice activated and you have to say something to it because it speaks to you, it talks to you. The one thing they're saying is like, well, if you talk to it and you say the right things, or like you activate the code or whatever, that there's a secret door behind it that opens,
Right.
and you can just walk in, and that's the other meeting base or a staircase or whatever. I mean, there's tons of mysteries about it you can look up, and
it sounds like, I wouldn't say cheesy coming from out of our mouths, but it's definitely not as organized as the videos that they create.
Yeah.
On there, because I've seen it, a lot of the different things that they've posted, and let's see if this video works. Okay. All right, let's see if this works.
Denver Airport has been at the center of controversy and conspiracy ever since the giant blue horse nicknamed Blucifer to its swastika design runway. It's as if the airport is trying to hide something in plain sight. Originally, it was scheduled to be open in 1993, but it was delayed by 2 years and ran over budget by more than $2 billion. It was reported that the delay was caused by people who were in charge when they kept hiring and firing contractors, keeping the full layout of the airport a secret. Furthermore, it was reported that there were at least 6 different underground levels and 5 actual buildings sitting under the airport. However, it remains heavily guarded, and the true purpose of these facilities remain unknown. But perhaps the strangest thing is that when you enter the airport, you can find a plaque that reads the New World Airport Commission. However, if you go look it up, it doesn't exist. What are they hiding in the Denver airport?
What are they hiding in the Denver airport?
What are they hiding in the Denver airport? However, if you look it up, it doesn't exist.
Well, they got the speaking music with it, so it just makes it sound better.
That's like the go-to conspiracy music. That's been a thing since like 2013.
Yes, yeah, it's a huge thing.
Yeah, it's nice when Joe Rogan they'll do like a Joe Rogan podcast, and they'll be like, have you heard of this? And it's like, dun, dun.
Well, let me read this about, let's see, the Freemasons. Okay, so it says George Washington, Theodore Roosevelt, John Wayne, Henry Ford, Booker T. Washington, Mark Twain, Lewis and Clark. You can go Harry Houdini, Buzz Aldrin, all of them. So the names initially seem to have no correlation. These men come from different centuries and economic backgrounds. They are presidents, authors, entertainers, investors, and adventurers. They are important symbols of American culture, but their connection reaches deeper even than that. All the men listed above and countless were a part of the Freemason Society. Essentially, Freemasons have been involved in every aspect of American society, whether the greater public has been aware of it or not. Because of this, the society has become under substantial amounts of scrutiny over the last few centuries. Freemasons have been accused of satanic practices, secrecy, murder, and other conspiracy theories involving political movements and historical events. When asked about Freemasons, most of the American population would more than likely repeat a piece of information or symbol they had in popular culture. A popular one that they were called out was National Treasure, which is kind of funny. But they talk about a bunch of different things all the time, and I love conspiracy theories. I like talking about them because now the world's kind of starting to wake up, because they talk about how the Illuminati and the Freemasons, they go to this place called Bohemian Grove, which is basically a forest in Northern California where they go out there as a group. And the one guy I mentioned him earlier in the Nightmare Blunt rotation, Alex Jones, snuck in to this years ago in the 90s and filmed. And you can look this up. Filmed what was going on at the Bohemian Grove, where they're worshiping an owl god. I can't remember the name of the owl god, but it's these people in dark hoods. Ronald Reagan was a part of it. There were two other guys that was part of it. Another Nixon was a part of it as well.
Weird white people shit is what they call it.
They're all smoking that za and worshiping an owl god. And, they've been doing this for centuries. Or I don't know how long, but, a long time. And Alex Jones actually caught up to one of the politicians or congressmen on the street and interviewed him and asked him about Bohemian Grove. And the guy got real pissed off and was like, and that one's accessible too. He's like, how the hell did you know that? You got all offensive about it because he knew that he got him. Another one that's my favorite, and this one I think is very, very relevant to what's going on right now, because we had the Chinese spy balloons, we've had the UFO documents get released. It's called Project Bluebeam. So I'm going to summarize it as best I can, but essentially what it is the plot to become a new one world government.
The owl is called Moloch. Moloch.
Yes.
CH.
Yeah, Moloch and Baal, Baal. That's another one that I've heard of where they worship, and he's an actual demon where you offer children up to it, which is freaky as shit.
You should, when you get a chance, you should go on YouTube and look up the Joe Rogan podcast where he talks about the 100-foot snake in Congo. It's like
that's in stone. Is it the one that's in stone?
No, they flew. These guys were flying over and they saw a 100-foot snake, and they said they got low to the ground.
Oh yeah,
and it
the World War II pilots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here you go. I got y'all.
That shit's insane.
There might be another ad. Hold on. I think I skipped it though.
Different on giant anacondas.
You're talking about those mysterious
100
50, 100 footers.
Yeah.
Okay, so think about where all the you're talking about those mysterious 50, 100 footers.
Yeah.
Okay, so
my YouTube has been doing
Switch
some
to
weird
Verizon
stuff.
and get
Hunter, do you want to look
Unlimited
it
for
up?
just $25 a line.
My YouTube's been just showing a white screen for some reason. I don't know why it's been doing that.
Guaranteed for
Yeah, the Joe Rogan podcast always has interesting ones. One of my favorites was they started talking about the pyramids. They had that one guy to come in and talk about it. That dude is a nerd for those pyramids because they have no idea how they got those stuff to work.
That's another thing I saw was that, have y'all heard of the Chicago Revolution? they would like put up buildings in a matter of days, and they said it would look like ancient Rome and like ancient Greece and all that. And they would have like buildings made out of gold. They had a moving walkway. They had a tower in the middle from Nikolai Tesla, whatever.
Yeah.
That was powered from 0 point energy at the time, and it powered throughout the whole entire city. And it was this huge beam they had, and then it all got torn down in like 3 days, and they would build more in like 5 days. They would keep building it and tearing it down, keep building it and tearing it down, and it's like,
What in the world?
how are they doing that type of thing?
Yeah. It takes them about 8 years to build a road in College Station. So,
Yeah.
but they're everywhere. I mean, there's conspiracies about everything everywhere. I definitely would recommend looking up Project Bluebeam. That's everywhere. They basically caress a fake alien invasion through holographic beams, and it basically distracts all the public from what's going on to say, "Oh my God, we're being invaded," and everybody then trusts the governments, which basically collapse into one, and everyone trusts the New World One World Government. And it's much more detailed, but
and if you realize you haven't seen one since all of that, like
So,
all that happened.
yeah.
So with showing the screen, do I just put present?
Yeah, present, and then it says share screen.
And then, so do I go to, when I click on show screen, do I just click on the video?
YouTube tab. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like,
Yeah, there should be a tab that says share screen, and then it shows your tabs. It might say new window. You might have to go to new window. It might be in there. It's not.
yeah,
on
so
the,
it's like entire screen or window. Do I go window?
and do entire screen.
Okay.
There we go.
That's it.
And then whenever you play it, just press full screen. Stand by.
I think YouTube's tripping. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah. Now just turn up the volume on your computers.
Is it too loud?
I can't hear it. It was weird.
What about now?
Try doing the bottom,
What'd y'all say?
the bottom, like the on the YouTube volume, like use the YouTube volume.
Let me see if I mute you if it works. Play it. That's weird. There's no volume. Yeah, I think YouTube's tripping right now.
I mean, we could just listen to it off of yours, Jared, because then it explains it well.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't have to see it because it's just them talking. Give an experience.
All right, so Joe Rogan, 100-foot anaconda.
Says, okay, so how do I get out of this fucking share screen shit?
It says stop sharing screen somewhere. Here, I'll just remove it. Oh, just remove data.
I think YouTube might be a little trippy right now.
They just fired the CEO. Well, no, the CEO just resigned.
That makes a lot of sense because even like this YouTube TV, it's kind of tripping over here. It's like,
yeah, like mine is like not showing. It's showing just a white screen. I don't know why, but it is. But we're just gonna listen to it anyway. This one's only a minute 30, so for some reason it's just doing that.
Very quickly, a well-respected, like, I forget, he had like his wings or his patch of honor or whatever, like very distinguished.
Yeah.
Him and his two passengers in the plane both reported 100-foot long snake. They flew over it once. They're like, wait a minute, what is that? They were Dutch Belgium in the Congo. They flew over it once, went, what is that? And flew over it 2 more times to verify it. and got so low to the ground that they said the snake struck at the airplane. And all 3 people,
God.
the pilot, this well-respected colonel, and the 2 passengers had the exact same story of this giant snake in Central Africa.
Interesting.
Look at
And
that.
yet no big snake has ever been proven from there. But it's also a very poorly biologically explored area.
They took a photo of
They
it?
did. Yeah, they did. They're in very low densities. So that's the real photo over on the left there.
What did they think it was?
They thought it was a giant snake, a 50-foot long.
So that's the photo right there?
I believe so. But the story is fascinating of these colonels.
But they don't know like what kind of snake. They don't know if it was an anaconda or a python. Or...
It would be an undescribed species because the only snake there, the African rock python, doesn't get that big.
What is the biggest snake that we know? Oh, it says it measured approximately 50 feet in length, saw brown green with a white belly, has a triangle-shaped jaw and a head.
Screw that.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I actually,
hate snakes.
yeah, I have a theory. I think it's because since we're live streaming to YouTube, I think it's not letting me watch YouTube videos because I'm already live streaming. That might be it. That might be the case. But anyway, yeah, I kind of saw the snake when I was like looking on there, and I'll probably toss up an image when we put content out. But God, that's some Indiana Jones type shit.
Like, I don't think like some people probably don't realize like how big a 100-foot snake is. Like some people are probably like, you know, you see you see an anaconda, it's like 15 feet. You're like, oh shit. But 100 foot, yeah, you can miss me with that. I can't even imagine what that looks like in person. Like, what are you supposed to shoot it with? Like a tactical nuke, 25 kills? Like, I don't even know how you get rid of that thing.
Yeah, Hunter Killer Drone.
Get a chopper gunner and you start shooting at it and it just breaks.
Bro, you know we're 2 years away from a Nuketown 2025.
Are we getting that?
Are we getting Nuketown 2025 in real life?
Nuketown 2025.
You can pre-order it.
Black Ops 2.
Get the leak on it.
You know what that is, right, Hunter?
What?
Nuketown 2025.
The game mode?
Yeah, the map.
Yeah.
Okay, you acting like you didn't know what it was. I was like, do you not know what that is?
Scared us.
All right, last little theory, and then we'll get out of here. So, let me see if I can do this the right way here. There is a ongoing. Let's see. Let's sign out here. Here's him. That's HIM.
That's him.
So, how long is this? All right, let's see if this works. Okay, so this is a story about an AI demon.
Ooh, Nancy Pelosi.
See. Okay. I'm gonna share my screen. Not sure how much commentary is going to be in this video, but there's a full interview.
And by the way, I don't think it's just about candy. It's also about the costumes.
Human sacrifice to the devil on the planet. People go, that's ridiculous. Halloween's just about candy. It's not. In fact, in New York City,
Damn.
Father Labar was telling me that it's the #1 week leading up to Halloween where the most homeless go missing. There's these unmarked vans that come around and offer to take them to shelters and get meals for them.
Wait.
Get meals for them, and they just buy them and they.
This is difficult. Oh my Lord. Try it again.
We can just put content of Nightmare Blend on going one-on-one.
I heard about the New York Times reporter who went to test the whatever it is, GHC, whatever.
ChatGPT.
Yes. And went in and started talking to the thing. And it was very civil for the first 5 minutes. And then that person left and a new person came with a different name. And that person was much more intrusive and started really pushing into I don't know if it was a man or woman, but their personal life. It was a man. And then out of the blue says, I love you to the man. And he's like, okay, that's weird. First of all, you're not real and you're not a person. And then the thing starts telling him he has to leave his wife. She's no good for him. She's going to destroy his life, and dragged him down a rabbit hole of horror, right? And when he got out of it, he couldn't sleep the whole night. So that's a sign that something is irritating him even after he left. I heard about.
So you can watch this on YouTube. It's Michael Knowles and The Exorcist, basically. And so that's a exterior one. But the actual story is about a child that interacts with an AI, or the AI is saying that I could hurt you, but I'm not going to, and starts playing with its mind and really demonically, intrusively talking to the kid. And this is in Rome. And so I believe it's in Rome. And the dad comes in after this. The kid comes to his dad and says, hey, this thing is being like scary, whatever. And he goes in there and figures out what's going on. And he takes the AI, and they have to move out of Rome. But it's a wild story. I highly recommend going to watch Michael Knowles and The Exorcist. He has some crazy stories. It's not like Amityville Horror, but it's real stories about exorcists and getting demons out of people. But it's fun stuff to listen to. I wouldn't recommend listening to it at this time of night, but in the middle of the day when you're outside drinking some OJ, for sure. But anyway, so any final remarks before we get out of here?
I will be playing Nightmare Blunt one-on-one in basketball coming up.
I'm intrigued. I will be commentating that live.
I don't know why you would want to do that. I'm in the best shape of my life right now. I'm running a 4.640.
Yeah, talk it up.
35-inch vertical. I don't know if you want to do that right now.
Hey, I'm built different. They call me sneaky athletic.
I've been labeled that since sophomore year.
I've been labeled that since I was a youngin, since I was about 11 years old.
We're gonna give you zero credit for anything.
I get zero credit for anything I ever do. I could figure out the cure to, world hunger, and they'll be like, no.
What's the over/under for threes hit for both of y'all? What's the number? Is it 1.5, 2.5?
2.
4.5.
4.5 threes for the kid.
4 straight games.
Yeah, I actually think that's a good idea. I think that'd be fun to do something like that.
If I'm stroking it, I'm stroking it.
Huh?
Well,
no. I'm like J.R. Smith. I'm streaky. But that defense is a little different than that legacy prep defense you're used to. It's a little different on this side.
Yeah, it's half Mexican this time.
You got brother over here.
Oh yeah, you can see it too.
That's what they call me white chocolate.
He's gonna get in your head, and he's gonna do all these great things, and he's gonna play some great defense, the best defense you'll ever see in your entire life.
I'm gonna be like, lock up, and I got these long old arms to be handing the cookie jar.
Like a chimpanzee. All right, well, so Nightmare Blunt, we appreciate you being on track 13. It's kind of funny. You're on track 13. We just talked about the 13th floor of the Denver airport. Connections, So, well, good luck to you in your endeavors in college football.
Thank you.
Good luck at playing slot receiver. Continue to study JSN. And we hope to have you on the podcast with the rest of the crew later on with the medical guy, the analyst. But it's an honor to have you on, son. We appreciate it. Make sure to repost our stuff on TikTok. You have like 7,000 followers.
Yes, I
That
think.
is a good point.
Everybody wins.
6,600.
Yeah. Come on, son.
I repost them when I see them.
Well, do you like or do you repost? I would get a notification if you
like
repost.
and then I repost.
Oh, wow.
But I follow a lot of people, so because I'm on this app a lot, and I have to like search it for it to come up. So I'll search this one up and I'll like it, repost it, share it, give it a
Respect.
follow.
I try and do at least this for you. So, I shout out. I got you a little highlight on Instagram too as well. So you're an official member of the
Oh yeah,
Trak
got
family.
the highlight.
The Shiesty mask.
Who's
Yeah.
shy? See, that's my dog. But Pool, I'm really shy.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, son. Yeah. If you have any final remarks, say them now. If not, we'll conclude the podcast.
Do not. Thank you for having me.
Respect. Game is game.
Take care. Game is game.
All right. So that was the Nightmare Blunt for Trak 13. Excited to have him on. It was a blast to have him talk conspiracies and talk shop with the youngin. Opening day is on Thursday for MLB. We got Houston Astros and Rangers. I'm guessing they're going to be 1-2 in the AL West. Astros at 1. So we might have the medical guy on for that. And we're trying to get the analyst back on for an episode. He hasn't been here in quite some time. He's been busy. But we're trying to hope to get the analyst on and some other new guests. We're continuing to work on it. But this has been Trak 13. Stay tuned for our next episode, possibly on Thursday and maybe again on Sunday, depending on everybody's schedule. But thanks for coming in. The kid, it's always an honor. Good luck to you guys. I know you're sweating them.
Yeah, they're already got the shit. Back in the lab tomorrow.
It's like 0 for 18.
Hey, dog, it's all good. We gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out.
Did you go back to the book tomorrow morning?
We're gonna sleep on it. We're gonna look at the slate tomorrow, and we're gonna work on it. We'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
Love it. All right.
All right, dog. Always
Trak
a pleasure.
13, Rook and the Kid. Appreciate y'all.
See ya.